Hey, and welcome to another Prosperous Musician. Hi, my name's Spence, and this is the Prosperous Musician, where we talk about music, money, and marketing. And today, I'd like to talk to you about the 4 secret ways that people are getting gigs, and people don't talk about it. So, this is the show, this channel is all about helping you, the musician, to get out there, get your music in front of people, and to make a living from it, more importantly. To get exposure, and to get your music and your videos in front of as many eyeballs and ear holes as possible. So if you're just starting out and you want to get some gigs, now, these are some ways that you could do it. You might already be doing some of them, but the key is action. So whether you know about these or not, whether you're doing them is a very different thing. So this is the 4 secrets to getting gigs that no one's really talking about. So the first, I would say, is, and the first and the most important, this is before we get into the main thing, is you've got to be ready. What do I mean by that? Well, you've got to have a good set. You've got to have some experience at least. You've got to have had some gigs, have a really good set that you're really happy playing, that you're comfortable playing, and then you might be getting some kind of feedback already. You might just be friends and family at the moment, but you might have put some stuff out on SoundCloud or YouTube and got a few likes. So you're on the right path. So this is aimed at you if you've already got a set. You're not an absolute beginner, that you've only just picked up your guitar or started producing. You're already a bit further down the line. You're looking to get some gigs. You're looking to get to the next level and get a bit more sort of exposure. So this is for you. So the first one, and the most important one, as James Brown said, and I always say, you've got to stay on the scene. And what does that mean, staying on the scene? Well, you've got to be visible. You've got to show up and start local, obviously. Go to all the local open mics, particularly, and here's another one you might not have thought about, is maybe music shops. So if you think about it, if you go to a music shop and they're selling all kinds of instruments, they're going to have inquiries. People are going to come in and ask them, oh, do you know, we're putting on a gig, do you know any musicians? And often music shops will have a notice board where you can put your services on there. You can put your business card up there, you can put your poster up there. Or if you hang out in the shop and you get to know the people in there, your name might be the first on their lips when they get asked for a gig. Now, what I've realised with music shops is a lot of the people that work in music shops are musicians, so probably they're going to get the best gigs, to be fair. But having said that, if you come across as likeable, if you hang out, they know you, and you obviously buy stuff from there, they may just push your name as well. Libraries could also be a good place if they've got a music section in the library. Then put your business card, put your poster, something up there. If they've got a music library, you could ask if they would stock your CD. People want to maybe hire that out. Ask if they play music in the music library. Ask if they'd be willing to play your CD in there if you have one. The same goes for a music shop. If they have music in the background, ask if they'd be willing to play your CD. Now, what you've got to expect on these things, you're going to get a lot of no's. A lot of people are going to reject you, okay? And this is normal. And I have to sort of use this as say this in all the videos, really. Whenever you're doing something for the first time, approaching people cold, sometimes it's you're going to expect rejection. So just get used to it. Just anticipate that it might be a no, okay? But that doesn't mean that you're no good. It just means that it's no, not right now. It could be, and usually people don't always say no, because no is quite difficult to say. So you might get it, well, maybe, or they don't return your calls. But just keep being persistent. Don't be pushy, and just keep trying. Just keep showing up. So also record stores could be a good place. Again, in England, in the UK, HMV, which was a very well-known record shop, store and chain of stores, were in very great danger of going under and ceasing trading. But they seem to have keeping the head above water. And I know now that they're reconnecting to the local scene, and they're bringing in local performers to do in-store performances and stock their CDs and records in the in-store. So now is a good time to go into record stores and ask if you could do a sign, like a launch if you've got a CD, or an in-store gig, or even offer to put it on for them. If you've got some friends who are in bands, go in there. I mean, I've done this is something I have done. Go into a local record shop and say, look, we're all musicians. At the time I was putting on events. Can we come in? We'll do a couple of hours, and people can come in and they'll hear the music, and they might like it and enjoy it. And it worked. This record shop wasn't doing very well, and the time we were in there, we brought in a lot of people. So that could be an idea that you could take to a record shop and offer to do it all. And obviously you could put it online as well, do it as a YouTube live or a Facebook live event, and it's all what's in it for them, isn't it? So if you're approaching anybody, venues, record labels, record shops, music stores, it's what's in it for them. Okay, it might not be cold hard cash directly, but if you're bringing in more people, you're raising awareness for them, then everybody benefits, So the rising tide raises all ships, So if you help other people, you get raised up with it as well. So that's another good reason, another goal. And if you're going slightly off kilter here, if you're looking at getting into something like the wedding market, if you're a musician who wants to get into the lucrative wedding market, then think laterally and go to where people who are getting married go. So where would that be? That would be to wedding dress shops, florists, limousine hire companies, churches, banqueting halls, makeup stalls, jewellers, all these places. Where would you think? Think if you've been married yourself, where did you go? Where are all the shops that you go to? Cake decorating stores. Put your card out, put your CD out, get to know the people who run these things. You never know, they might put your name forward if somebody comes in and says, we've got everything, but we just need to get the entertainment now. They might say, this guy came in the other day and here's his CD or here's his card. And it's just being on the scene, it's being visible, right? There's thousands of musicians out there, but you've got to position yourself in front of people and often. And so when they go, I need somebody, he's there, here he is, there he is, he's there and he's there. Or she's there and she's there. You have to be in front of people to stay in people's minds. People are very busy, and people will just go for the easiest thing. So if you're on their minds, if you've just visited them, if you're on the scene, then you might get picked. So that's my stay on the scene one. I've got some here as well. Another one is to go to. Another one is to go to others' events. So if you've got friends who are musicians, go to their events. And if you're prepared and if you're good, you might be able to get some stage time. And that's what it's all about. They might call you up to jam with them on stage. Their support act might have let them down. Or if you go into any venue, any kind of music venue, be ready, be prepared. I'm not saying you have to carry a guitar everywhere with you, but be ready to go if people need some entertainment quickly, or need there's a gap, then get in it. Same with open mics. If you go to open mics, I've done this myself. Go to open mics. Sometimes, different people are there. People who want to form bands, people who are looking for events, people who are there to scout. A lot of people do auditions nowadays for reality shows or song shows or the X Factor and things like that. They do auditions at open mics now. So you never know who's watching. And also go one better, and this is something I've done and it's worked for me, is to put your own open mic on. Go to a venue. It might be a coffee shop, it might be a pub, it might be a restaurant, or somewhere with a public space where people go and gather, and just say, look, hey, I'll come and do an open mic for you. I'll bring some people in. It might not be for any money at the beginning. I always negotiated a fee because I wanted to get my expenses covered, but sometimes that doesn't always work. Sometimes that'll put people off. So be willing to. It could be a percentage of the taking. So if they have a good night on the bar or they're selling food, then you take 20% or 50% off the top of that, and that's your deal. And then it encourages you, gives you more incentive to get more people in. And ultimately, any venue, that's pretty much all they're interested in. Of course, they want an entertainment. They would like the music to be good. but you as a musician, you're interested in the music and how good it is and the art. They're not that bothered. Venue owners aren't that bothered about that. They're just concerned about how many people are going to come in, how many people are going to buy drinks, how much people are going to spend. That's what they're interested in. So talk to them in their language, give them, pounds and shillings and pence, and show them how it can benefit them, and then you might be onto something. So also going to networking events, and these are things that I've tried as well. Going to networking events might not be anything to do with music. Conferences, that the people are together for a whole weekend often. They might not have any entertainment booked. So go along, ask the organizer, look them up in the paper, look them up online, look them up on Facebook groups. If they're having live events at hotels, go along and say, look, I'm a musician, I've got this act, this is what I sound like, this is what I look like, this is what I can do. How about I'll play for your clients, you'll pay for your attendees. I'll bring the PA, and they might have a PA there already. You might start doing it for free and then do it, charge. It could be something, and if they're doing it regularly, they'll bring you in on next event. So, again, just don't be afraid to approach people. They might already have things booked. Most often they will if it's an established thing, they've already got things like that booked. But you never know. Somebody might have cancelled. They might be in the middle of changing, that kind of thing. They might be looking for something new, and then you pop up, with full of enthusiasm and wanting to help, and they might go with you. Another thing, something which I've tried in the past, but not necessarily music, is going to gigs, more established gigs, and when they're loading up into the venue, you could talk to the tour manager. Now, the tour manager's usually around at that point because he's rounding up the band, he's getting people together for the sound check. That could be, you might be getting in the way at this point, but you could also catch them at the right time and say, look, you could start busking around that area so they can hear you. You could take your guitar with you and play and say, look, this is what I can do. Could I open up for you? Could I do a few songs at the beginning of the show? Now, again, they might just say, no, because we've already got our, we've got the show ready to go, and we don't want any of that. But you just never know with these things. You might have just get them at the right time. Their support act might have not showed up, or they might be looking to do something different. You might have caught them in a good mood, and they just like you, and they just want to give it a chance. So you just never know. You've got nothing to lose with these things, and at the very least, it's another contact. You might get this guy's name, and this is something that's happened to me. I did exactly that. I didn't have a guitar with me, but I got talking to the tour manager at a gig, and he invited me in. The band came up and they were chatting with me. We got chatting. They put me down on the guest list, and then I got on the guest list, and then I was backstage with them afterwards. I got photographed with them in Q magazine. They thought I was with the band, and I wasn't. And just hung out, and and if I had at that time, if I was playing guitar, if I was writing songs then, who knows where that could have gone, because I was part of the entourage then. I was part of them. I could have quite easily started playing my own stuff, and who knows what would have happened. But I wasn't in that frame of mind then. I wasn't playing. I wasn't on the ball enough, and I wasn't doing my music as seriously as I am doing it now. So it does work, but it's just not being so pushy, but just being part, just being okay, just being a good hang, as they say in America, just being good to be around. And you might get invited into these inner circles, you never know. And also, I always say busking's a good way. I've always said that, and I always will say that. Busking's a great way to get in with, get your stuff out there for all you need is an amp, really. You don't even need that. Sometimes just get your guitar or your keyboard or your whatever it is you play. Get out there and just start playing on the streets. Another thing you could do is to get to like record labels, where record labels are. So if you're in probably Nashville, people do this all the time, but if you're in another city where there's a few like media places, or maybe there's a record label that's based in your city, or a publishing company, or a media company, then why not busk near there? So around lunchtime, people are out. If it's nice weather, people are out getting their sandwiches and their lunch, and you're playing near where people are. So you're positioning yourself where these decision makers are, and you never know. You just never know. It happens all the time. People get noticed busking. I know somebody, Lucy May Walker, who I've actually played a gig with. She got noticed by. If you're listening in the UK, you'll understand this. on BBC Radio 2. Jeremy Vines, quite a big name. He noticed this girl called Lucy May Walker Busking, and he called her on the show. He got her on the show, and she got to play live on the show in front of like how many million listeners, prime time. You can't buy that kind of exposure, it's just one of those things, being in the right place at the right time. So, you have to be on the scene, have to be out there, have to be visible, and you never know where it's going to lead. I've been busking and asked to open up for somebody's poetry show, somebody who's quite a well-known TV producer, and just because I was busking, I would never have been able to do that otherwise. It's just purely the right place at the right time. So do that. Another one is to just be bold. So we're on number 3 now, I guess. So the first one is to network. The first one is to network music shops and places like that. And second one is to stay on the scene. And the third one is to just be direct. Go route 1 straight into the venue you want to play at, and have your stuff with you, have a CD or whatever it is with you, and just say, I'd like to play. This is what I can do. Have you got any gigs? I'd love to open up for any of the acts that are coming up. Look at what they're doing. Don't just walk into any venue. Do your homework on the venue. If it's the kind of venue that puts on live music, does the kind of music that you're into, that you would fit in, go along and say, look, I can open up this guy. I can bring some people with me. I can bring, I guarantee I'm bringing 10 or 20 people. If it's a small venue, they might be, yeah, great. That's an extra, how many pounds for them. You might even just want to go, look, I'll pay you. This is out of the box, isn't it? I'll give you, 100 quid for me to play, open up in front of this audience. They might say, get out of here, scram, kid, something like that. But they might say, oh, all right, fair enough. You get to sell your merchandise. You might make your money back. Now, again, all these things, there's no real sort of rule book here. Just try what you think works. And often, if you're giving, as I said, if you're talking people's language, in other words, money, if you can bring value to their venue, their event, then you're a much better chance if you're just saying, look, I'm brilliant, look how great I am, look at listen to this song, it's great. They're not interested in it. People in those positions, they're not really interested in that. They're just interested in what you can do for them in terms of bringing value or people into their venue. And the third one, the fourth one, this could go hand in hand with this one, is to create a CV. So there's an electronic press kit, which is slightly different. Or it could be, you could lay your EPK out, your electronic press kit out, like a CV. So, maybe people in the pub trade or the live music venue trade are more used to seeing CVs from employees, from bar staff and doormen and things like that. So maybe if you presented yourself as an employee, like that kind of thing, as a CV. So put things in like when you started playing, how many gigs that you've done, what's your repertoire, what songs that they might know, putting testimonials in there, quotes, all the things that you do on a CV, and then sort of send it to them, give it to them in their hands. So look, this is me. Give them a CD with it, with a few tracks on it. This is what I can do. I'm available this night. I could open for this guy, or whatever it is. Be direct, and if you're there in person, it's a lot more difficult to say no to somebody. It's very easy to deflect or ignore an email or a phone call. But if you're there in person, standing in front of them, and you've got all this stuff with you, you're presenting yourself as you've got everything there. There's no reason for them to say no. So it's a lot harder for them to say no. So try that. Another one is to when you're doing gigs. This is when you actually do get a gig, to get those testimonials. Why not when you're playing? Because it's very hard, once you've finished the show and everything's finished, it's very hard then to get people to comment on what you've done, because the mood's passed, the emotion's gone down, they're onto something else. It's best to capture them, or they're in the moment and they're enjoying your show. So it could be during your show, you could say to them, look, if you're enjoying this, get the crowd going, and then say, look, I want you to get your phones out, I want you to go to my fan page, my website, my Facebook page, whatever it is, Instagram, and I want you to leave a review on my page right now. And then you say, after the show, the best review will get a free CD or a free ticket to the next gig, or I'll give you 20 quid, whatever it is, or a free bar tab, whatever it is you want to incentivize it with. Do something like that, because getting testimonials and building up a buzz, that's what it's about, right? It's getting people, and lots of people will say, yeah, you're great, and all this kind of stuff, but to get that captured into hard copy is a very different matter. So if you can get those kind of real, like, authentic reviews, and this isn't buying reviews, this isn't saying say I'm great, it's saying leave a review. It could be a really creatively bad review, but just say, leave a review. The best one will get, or the one you think is best or funniest will get this prize. So how about that? That's I haven't really took much break for air there, so I hope you get a lot of value out of this. This is my mission here to, because I'm a musician as well, so this is for my benefit as much as yours. And a lot of these things I've tried myself, some of them I haven't, and some of them I will. And I want you to try them. Now, youth, it's your turn now to think of another 3 ways that you could get yourself in front of people. Things that I haven't discussed here. There's loads of different ways. So why don't you put your thinking cap on, have a think about how you could get yourself in front of different people, different ways of getting gigs, and write them down below. Write the best one, and I will highlight the comment of the best one, and I will give you maximum props. So that's it. Put things into action. Try things out for yourself. None of this is going to work unless you put the work in and try it out. Remember, just go for the no. Don't worry about, you're not going to get a yes every time. If somebody says no, that's fine. On to the next one. Okay. So just keep going, keep persisting, keep trying, keep at it, and you will get somewhere. You will progress, and if you keep at it consistently, you'll get to where you're going. So that's all from me, Spence, on the Prosperous Musician. Please leave your comments down below. Leave your tips, or let me know if you've tried any of these out, how you got on. I'd like to hear your ideas on any other things that I've missed out. Stick it in the comments down below. Please like and comment. Please share this video if you really enjoyed it. Share it with some friends, and please consider subscribing to this channel, because there will be more of these value-packed videos coming very soon, very regularly. So also drop me any ideas if you want me to do any videos on specific subjects within the music, money or marketing niche, then put all those comments down there. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.